welcome back. I'm Natalie, your host, your mentor, and most importantly, a friend who understands the wild ride of Hollywood. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you're a longtime listener, thank you for being here. Today's episode is close to my heart because we're tackling a topic that doesn't always show up on the highlight reels: the emotional ups and downs of this business. It's so crucial for anyone starting in Hollywood. If you're a hairstylist or makeup artist hoping to break into Hollywood, you've probably already tasted some of these highs and lows. Maybe you just nailed your first gig and felt like you were soaring. Or maybe you're in a slower season and the self-doubt is creeping in. Trust me, I've been there. So in today's episode, we're going to unpack these highs and lows, talk about how to stay grounded, and most importantly, how to keep moving forward with resilience and confidence. You can ride the waves of this industry without drowning, and I'm here to show you how. All right, shall we get started? Grab your coffee, your wine, your pen and paper, and get settled. First up, the thrilling highs of Hollywood. That first major gig, seeing your work grace the silver screen, collaborating with someone you've looked up to for years. It's electric. These moments remind you why you're here and inspire that fire in your soul all over again. The one important lesson I've learned is that these highs don't last forever. And that's not a bad thing. Hollywood just moves quickly. The project wraps up, the job ends, and suddenly it's that what's next moment. What matters most is the foundation you're building during and after those highs. And right now, Hollywood is moving quicker than it ever has before. I remember sitting in a packed theater next to my dad and sister, and for the first time, I saw my name in the credits of a major film. It was surreal. The kind of moment that makes all the hustle and the struggle worth it. I was so proud to have them there to experience it with me. But then reality set in. Once that high faded and I was looking for a job, I had to ask myself, what's next? That moment taught me to celebrate the wins, but also to focus on the bigger picture. There's always another gig, another opportunity ahead, and you have to stay ready for it. I think some of the best advice that I got from a mentor was that there will always be work. And sometimes it's really hard to believe in that and to know and trust and have faith in that. But I always made sure, no matter what was going on, that I could find my way and I will figure it out. And I was always blessed. I took time off between shows, not at first, but years into it, probably half my career into it. I started taking time off because I was getting burnt out. And the what's next became more and more natural to know that when you finally release that and let go of that and don't worry, I feel like that's when the universe, God, allows that flow to keep happening instead of you getting in the way of worrying. Because I truly believe that worrying puts blocks in your path. You're literally sabotaging yourself. Anyways, I always advise this to anyone starting out. Financial preparation is key. Hollywood is unpredictable. Build a savings cushion when times are good so that when the slow period comes, you're ready. Not worrying about how to make rent allows you to stay calm, not set into that worry. Make clear decisions and keep moving forward. Financial planning is just another way to build resilience and is a way of being able to take that time off in between. We work super long hours and super long weeks. And by the time a 6 to 8 month job is ending, you're exhausted. Even if it's just a few weeks, have that padding in the bank so that way you could take 2 to 4 weeks off, okay? Now we're going to move on to the lows. We've all been there, no matter what industry you're in. Maybe the offers aren't rolling in, or maybe you're questioning your talent after a rejection. These moments can hurt, but they are temporary. Don't forget that. I've been in your shoes, wondering if I was good enough, replaying past opportunities in my head and questioning what went wrong. But here's what I've learned: those moments of doubt are where the most growth happens. And this is so true. One of the toughest times for me came right after a huge project. I was riding that wave of excitement, but then crickets, nothing. My calendar was empty. I started spiraling, thinking, what if that was the peak of my career? But instead of collapsing into that fear, I used the downtime to work on myself. I practiced new skills, reached out to old connections, and stayed productive. I even practiced new health skills. I learned a lot about health. I learned a lot about balance. I took an Ayurveda class and got my Ayurvedic practitioner's license. I mean, I just decided I'm not going to waste away this downtime. I am going to expand and grow as a human being, even outside of this business. I trusted that the next job would come. And of course, spoiler alert, it did. So staying optimistic and proactive is key to pulling yourself through the lows. I know it's hard to trust the process when it feels like the phone isn't ringing or the gigs aren't coming, but Hollywood thrives on consistency. Keep refining your craft, keep showing up, because those low moments do pass. Just like the speed bump in my last episode. Sometimes they take a little while to pass, and sometimes they take a lot longer to pass. So, as a hair or makeup artist, even if you have to go and find side gigs, or go work at a dry bar, or go work at a Sephora, or go work at Mac or an over the counter thing, like, you can find ways to survive until that next job comes, okay? And now we're going to get into the practical. Emotional resilience is one of the greatest assets you can build in this industry. Here are a few things that work for me and may work for you too. You need to first acknowledge your feelings. You're human. You get frustrated, you get disappointed, you get burned out. It's okay to feel those things. What matters is not letting those emotions define your day. And even if it does, I've had plenty of days or even weeks, especially as women, we are very emotional and we go through like 4 waves of emotions every single month. We're on cycles. It has been proven men can, their cycle is a 24-hour period. Women, it's like 4 cycles in a month. So we're human and we're going to have these emotions. And if we have a bad day and we let it get to us, don't worry about it. Reset for the next day. Don't beat yourself up and don't get down. There's been times where I've had a bad week and then I snap myself out of it. I'm like, what are you doing? Or even lately, a bad month. I had a really bad full month and I was like, oh my gosh, you just wasted a month. But then I was like, no, I needed that. It's been crazy and I've started a new business and my career right now is down because of the strike and all of these things. It's fine. There's a lot going on and there's a lot going on in the world. So give yourself grace. And then secondly, the second practical thing, you need to revisit your why. What drew you into this business? Was it the creativity, the storytelling, meeting actors? What is it? On the tough days, anchor yourself in that purpose to keep yourself focused. And this truly does work. The times this year that I've had really bad days, I've anchored myself in that why. Like with my business, why am I doing this? Because I want to help others. I want others to succeed. I want people to believe in themselves. So you have to um, get that anchor in, okay? The third thing, celebrate small wins. Every little step matters. I know I've said this in a couple episodes, but the small wins keeps you going. And there's so many times now I wish I would have written down a lot of the small wins. I've gotten lazy with it because I'm like, I know not only to keep myself motivated, but those small wins are so beautiful. And sometimes they're just so magical. And to be able to have that as a reminder of what happened, not just to keep you motivated and confident and all of that, but to bring that memory back up and to be like, oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful moment. So keep that in a journal and write one thing that you were proud of each day or the magical moments. It could be something small, like mastering a tricky curling technique, but over time, those small wins build up and kept my momentum going. Okay. Finally, we need to talk about consistency. Hollywood is full of dreamers, but the people who truly succeed are the ones who show up day after day, even when it's hard. Truly. When I first got started, I was working 7-day weeks for $50 a day and was surfing around on couches. I was homeless. Okay. You have to keep going. If this is what you want to do, no matter how hard it is, you keep going. And you stay consistent with all the things that I'm going to teach you in these episodes. So that way you build a beautiful reputation. You build a reputation as someone dependable, professional, and passionate about your craft. If you are not passionate about doing this and not excited about entering this industry is not for you. You may get an easy ride, so you could try it and see where it takes you. But you have to have that resilience. You have to be a hard worker. The hours are long. Like I told you in, I think, episode 1, there is great magical things about it. But it is a intense, grueling job at times. So just ask yourself that before getting into this business. You know, there are people that work at network jobs and it's cush. You're doing 8-10 hour days and you're going to a studio and that's it. Or if you're doing runway and you have these fun, creative days, but they're few and far between. Like if you want to do things like that, yes. But for film and television specifically, there are still cush jobs that are like 10-12 hour days. And it's easy peasy, contemporary hair. Everybody's lovely, wonderful to work with, and you get those. But there are moments, especially starting out, trying to get your feet on the ground and get connections and networking and all of that, where you're going to have to hustle and you're going to have to put in the work to build your reputation and meet people. So if you aren't prepared for that, then you need to take a step back and get prepared, okay? All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. This has been a powerful conversation today. I know it's a little bit on the short side. Um, you know, my episodes are going to range from probably anywhere from 15-20 minutes to once I start getting people on here or telling stories, I can talk a lot. So it could be 30-45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. So it'll be all over the place. But yeah, if there's one thing I want to leave you with today, it's this. The highs and lows are part of the Hollywood experience, not the end of it. Celebrate those wins, learn from the challenges, and keep chasing your dream. Keep that consistency. If you love today's episode, make sure to hit subscribe, share it with a friend who's on the same path as you, and leave a review. And don't forget to connect with me online and learn more about the Hollywood Elite. And I have a wig class and just, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Keep creating, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going. Until next time.